Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Duke, and this is The Takeaway. Welcome, Alex Newman. You just keep writing the great articles. We'll keep talking about them. Talk about the latest white privilege insanity going on at the University of Minnesota.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Duke. Pleasure to be with you. And so basically, we have a racist pseudo professor coming to the University of Minnesota to teach the kids and the faculty about the violence of blackness and how Jewishness and Hispanics pose an existential threat to America. And, just some incredible racist stuff. And obviously, that's not what's happening. Instead, it's the violence of whiteness and how whiteness needs to be dismantled and how whiteness is an existential threat to the social, political, and economic life of the United States.
I see what you did there. You pointed out through sarcasm, didn't you, Alex, that if they had done a conference just like this on the violence of blackness, because you could make a pretty compelling argument that there is a lot of violence in black communities, right? You would be heralded as a racist. You'd be banned from campus. You would never be invited in the first place. There would be squads of angry, young, mind-numbed college juniors and seniors demanding you be thrown off campus. It's unbelievable that you can get away with this. The inherent violence of being white. Talk a little bit more about what happened when she gave her talk, and what was her major premise in this talk?
Hey, well, thanks, Duke. And the talk is going to be in later March, and it's called "The Elephant in the Room." And so, what the students are supposed to learn is that whiteness is dangerous, it's violent, it's oppressive, and that it is going to destroy the United States unless it's dismantled. And so, this professor, she comes from Beloit College, Lisa Anderson-Levy, I believe is her name. She's a Jamaican. And she basically says that we need to dismantle whiteness in everything. She says, in the school curricula, in the budgets, in every subject that's taught in school. And so the exact details aren't clear, but we know she has a degree in feminist studies, so she's clearly, one of these anti-patriarchy people, anti-strong families. And it's, my guess is that it's going to be the same racist claptrap that we've been hearing over and over and over again. And, as I understand this, she's cloaking what she's trying to say here under the guise of white racism, with, being opposed to whiteness as a race. But I think that she doesn't really care how much melanin people have in their skin content. I think what she means by whiteness is really just a placeholder for Western civilization, Christianity, individual liberty, free markets. And so what I think she's trying to do here is conflate whiteness with these values, with these ideas, which of course are not inherently white, right? There's Christians all over the world. Free markets can be practiced anywhere. But to use that and this kind of hateful environment that we're in at the moment to try to attack these fundamental values that have been the basis of Western civilization for thousands of years and that have created the most prosperous and free societies in human history.
Bingo. I want to follow up on that. So we have to get rid of the violence inherent in whiteness, or else the country would be destroyed. Well, we've had this, according to people like Levy, right? According to people like her, this country was founded on the basis of white violence. And here's the thing. If white violence is our entire history, with all due respect, Mrs. Levy, it seems like it's working pretty well. The standard of living in this country is high. Minorities, like her, have it better here than almost any place else in the world. What is it about white violence you oppose, Mrs. Levy, when you have the right to go to a college campus and slander an entire race of people and get a fat honorarium for it, right, as opposed to being called out? It's just so bizarre. Furthermore, I love the fact that the title of the conference is The Elephant in the Room, with a subtle jab at GOP politics, right? These people are just absolutely shameless. You're right, this isn't about whiteness. It's just the one group in this country you're allowed to say ridiculously absurd things about is white, particularly white men. And if they happen to be Republican white men, like Hillary Clinton in India, you can say all sorts of nasty things about how they with whips and chains compel their wives to vote the way they do. The real question I have for you, Alex, is there no sense of irony on college campuses? We are banning, the University of Minnesota is a serial offender in this way, politically correct to the point of nauseating. Is there no sense of irony here, though, that you're booting kids off campus because they supported Donald Trump, or they want to have an all-Christian-only group on campus, and yet you're going to invite this kind of incendiary, nasty, demonstrably untrue racial invective to college and expect everybody to be okay with it?
It really defies logic. It defies reason. It's absolutely insane. I think the best metaphor, even if it's a little bit cliche at this point, is that the lunatics are running the asylum. And worse, they're running the asylum by reaching into our wallets and taking our money to subsidize this kind of hatefulness, this kind of racism, this idiocy that is, I think, designed to bring down our society and our civilization, and along with our liberties and our families and all the rest of it. So it's not only ironic, it's insane. And I think we need to start taking serious action here. I think tax-paying citizens of this country need to go to their elected representatives and say, you know what, that's enough with the tax money for this insanity. This kind of stuff would not exist in a proper free market. Nobody would put money into these absurdities, and these people would have to go out and find real jobs and do something productive with their time rather than spew their hate and their venom. And until the American people get serious about putting an end to this, it's only going to get worse.
Well, I really wish majority white kids on college campuses were as willing to stand up against discrimination and implicit and explicit violence as these kids walking out of high school were. I mean, if the majority white population on college campuses were to walk out and protesting this simple bigotry, maybe something would be done about it. But they've been so brainwashed into believing, right, that they're guilty as charged and that they're good people and get good grades because they support this anti-white venom and invective, that they're complicit in this as well. So it's interesting to see how kids in this country are willing to walk out for liberal causes, willing to stand up and show out for liberal causes, but when you have genuine incidents of racism, bias, bigotry, oppression, tyranny, and all sorts of abuses of language, which the colleges seem to care so much about, it's just a yawn. Keep inviting them. More talks, more lectures, and more honorariums paid from student tuition to these speakers.
It really is crazy, Duke. And I was delighted to see how much attention this got. First it was picked up by InfoWars, and it was picked up on the Drudge Report, which is, of course, by far the largest media outlet in America in terms of readership. So it's really good to see that this is finally getting some attention. It's about time that these people be exposed, and we need to put a stop to it. And I think it's as simple as putting an end to the tax subsidies.
Alex Newman, thank you for another great takeaway. We will talk to you very soon.